ready to get cooking. You want to begin by decapitating your squirrels. And really all you do is like you take your little squirrel body and like a meat cleaver, and then you just like chop the fucking head off, and like they're small, so it's really not that hard. And then when you have your pile of squirrel heads, you can apparently just chuck them in the fire. So you can just like chuck them on a barbecue, and you're all ready. And it gets kind of tricky here because I don't actually remember how long it takes to cook a squirrel brain because it wasn't the most traumatizing part of the story. What I do remember is what comes next, because there is one crucial step left in this whole shenanigan, and that is that when you have your pile of crispy squirrel heads all ready to be eaten, you still need to get the brains out. That's what the nutcracker comes in. So you take your nutcracker, like the kind you use to crack walnuts at Christmas, and you take your squirrel heads one by one, and you just like crack them wide open, and then you take a teaspoon and you scoop the brains out, and you put them in a bowl. And once you've done this with all of your squirrel heads, and have successfully discarded the crushed skulls of your squirrel enemies, all you need is a pinch of salt and some cracked pepper, and you're good to go. And so this guy finishes this story, which in reality took like 20 minutes. And the car goes silent, like it absolutely does silent. And just remember that I'm like in the back of the car, stuck to the roof, so I have a fantastic vantage point. So not only can I feel my own face, which is like contorted in like a mix of disgust and disbelief, and I can also see the driver's facial expression, who you'd think would be quite immune to this kind of talk, but she's not. She's just as grossed out as my friend and I are. And after like the longest 20 seconds you can imagine, Allison finally decides to break the silence, and she goes, well, I don't think I'm going to try it, but I'll take your word for it that it's good. At which point, this guy turns around, and with the heaviest southern drawl you can imagine, he goes, I never said they were good. When we finally got to Manchester, we decided to take him out for lunch. And this guy was so disturbed because his meal was undercooked. And when my friend Allison and I discussed this on the bus ride, on our very, very long bus ride back, we thought this was hilarious because, like, to us, his squirrel brain story, I guess, meant that this man had absolutely no standards as far as his meat consumption. But I guess to him it was just like a fun regional recipe that he thought would be fun to share with a couple of hitchhikers he picked up along the way, even if it wasn't a particularly good one. Thank you.